Hello everyone, this episode of New World News Network, we're going to get into 20 questions black people have for white people that BuzzFeed didn't ask. If anyone's unfamiliar, this is a series of ultra-racist videos that BuzzFeed does and tries to wrap it up in this innocent, sort of cutesy way and it really bothers me because whether it's Beyonce or anything else, now we're at a point where championing stereotypes is how we fight racism. Like, it's the most backwards, warped idea I've ever seen, where we just make sweeping broad generalizations against people or sweeping broad generalizations towards our own race and bask in them. Like, Beyonce with her hot sauce in my bag, nigger nose, nostrils, whatever she's talking about. And I'm going to have a whole video delving into Beyonce in a handful of different aspects, so keep an eye out for that. But as a refresher, racism is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. I don't think you necessarily have to believe that someone is superior or inferior. I think you can just be racist. The belief that all members of a race possess characteristics or abilities specific to that race, especially so as to distinguish it as inferior or superior to another race or races. And of course you'll hear white people hold systemic power, this, and that, because we don't have black judges, or black presidents, or black celebrities, or black entertainers, or black police officers, or any of that. We don't allow that. Those are whites-only jobs, and all blacks are just told, no. It's not even that there are diversity quotas where certain places have to hire a certain amount of black people just because they are black. Doesn't happen. Not in America. This is a segregated... Jim Crow's still going on. You didn't know? You didn't get the memo? Oh, well, anyway, so, yeah, our black president isn't a black president, or anything like that. So, let's get into this video.
Be honest. You hate black people, don't you?
I mean, right there. Who? Who hates black people? I mean, I'm sure my sister, who has 3 black children, doesn't hate her children. I'm sure she may disagree with the father at some points, but I don't think she hates him. Definitely not because of the color of his skin, but I mean, this should just show you the direction we're going to go, that this is just the... I mean, look at the smug fucking look on this woman's face. I mean, these people are so racially obsessed and paranoid that it's like the most warped identity issue to have. Oh.
White people, do you know what gentrification is doing to black neighborhoods? Do you have any idea?
Why is being...
Now, gentrification is a complicated issue because I've heard some people talk about it and everything, and basically you can have a city like Chicago, or even my own local city, I guess they tried to gentrify it, or Beacon, New York, where what they do is you basically have liberals turn it into a slum because they put in subsidized housing, all this low-income stuff, and everything like that, and instead of putting in, like, a big manufacturing plant that could actually hire everyone and get them out of the housing, instead they just kind of try to make it an artsy, ritzy area and put in high-end shops and high-end boutiques to bring money into the area. And the thing is I don't see a alternative proposed solution as to how to revitalize an area without doing this. Like, basically, how do you revitalize an area but still keep it poor? And it's really awful that that is going on, because in my own local area, the art galleries and everywhere that have opened up in an attempt to gentrify the area are all being utilized by the black community. So, are you aware that gentrification in some aspects is helping the black community and giving them outlets to express themselves creatively, giving them an outlet to taste different foods from different cultures that didn't have shops beforehand. I mean, I'd like to know what his argument against it is and what he would propose we do to help these crime-ridden, poverty-stricken areas. I don't see poverty as a problem like everyone else does. People act as if poverty is something you fall victim to, like as if you should just have money and access to things because of your existence. The majority of time, people lived like they were Amish. Poverty was the normal, and we are such a spoiled, luxurious society that we have forgotten that. Where the average poor person in America has a car, an air conditioner, a computer, a video game system, a TV, luxury items. Poverty in America is luxury. So, again, not saying there aren't homeless people who are really down on their luck. I'm not pushing that off. But I'm saying as far as from the political standpoint of poverty, poverty is luxurious.
A former drug dealer a bad thing, but being a former slave owner, totally okay in white America.
I think you're confusing apples and oranges. Who said being a slave owner was a good thing, first off, and being a drug dealer is a bad thing? But again, we're basically saying, because this happened 200 years ago, and people thought that was okay, this should be good.
Do you honestly think the structure of America is not based on racism?
If you look into it, it really isn't. I mean, there were structural racist laws, but that's sort of irrelevant to concepts of private property, individual rights. I mean, when Frederick Douglass became free, he was proposed with the idea of going back to Africa, and he kind of scoffed and laughed at it and was basically like, why would I want to go back to spear chucking and living in a mud hut when I could have a house? So, I don't know. I mean, a lot of these are the craziest questions, and it's really bothersome that people even see reality in this sort of way. Like, these people are so warped and radicalized. This is the black supremacist mentality, basically.
Do you really think you discovered America?
No, I wasn't alive back then. So no, I don't think I discovered America whatsoever. Do you think you discovered America? Because I'd take a guess you weren't alive back then either. And we all know Christopher Columbus wasn't the one who discovered it. There was someone before him, and there were people here before them. But if you are talking in terms of the American history of the colonization of it, then yes, during that time period, Christopher Columbus was the one that popularized and discovered America. I don't think I did it. You shouldn't think you did it. You shouldn't think that other white people are walking around on this planet right now who honestly think they discovered America. This is a warped, collectivist way of seeing things, where I, because I am white, represent all white people. She, because she is black, must represent all black people, and I really like your culturally appropriated red hair. I wonder, are you appropriating that from the Irish by any chance? Let's just have a refresher. Racism, prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race because of the belief their own race is superior. Is that what's going on here? Do you really think you discovered America?
Do you really think it's yours?
Do I think this country is mine? No. Well, yes, I am an American, so I do feel, but I mean, unless if I go and buy a piece of land, I don't think anything but what I own through purchasing is mine. That's how private property works. Who thinks anything like this? This is stuff, it just doesn't have any grasp in reality. Do I think America is mine? Yes, America is my country, and I walk around and I kick people out of their houses, and I decide where I'm going to build my new military barracks and my plantations and the whole bit. And I tax people. I go around taxing them at gunpoint, and I just say, America's mine. I run this bitch. This is mine. Who have you ever encountered that thinks like that and acts like that? I bet no one. In fact, I bet this is just propagandized rhetoric that you're reciting.
I'm upset, I'm an angry black man.
Or black woman.
But when you're upset, you're just upset. Aren't you an angry white man?
Why isn't racism illegal?
I think there's a difference between being angry and being upset, and maybe it's based on how you're responding to those feelings. And again, I don't think people see things like that. I think you see things like that, and you are projecting things. Let's go to another
Why
one.
isn't racism illegal?
Oh, oh my God, well, hold on. Equal Pay Act. I swear, this is, as you can see, it's in my recent searches, but no employer having employees subject to provisions shall discriminate within any establishment in which such employees are employed between employees on the basis of sex, paying, and it goes in, basically, this is the one over sex. There's also laws against discrimination based on race and everything else. Discrimination is illegal. Let's just give this a shot. Racism, illegal. You cannot discriminate in America. Like, what the hell? What were civil rights? Did they not happen? What the...
Why is gaining the black vote so important, but mass incarceration against black people isn't?
How, again, this woman with these correlations that have nothing to do with one another. Gaining the black vote is important because we live in a democracy and we would like to have all people who can function and think straight. You can sit this one out, honey. But we'd like people to have a say in their representative republic. Mass incarceration tends to not be looked at as much of a problem because it's looked at as a consequence to illegal actions because you elected someone or you didn't elect someone, maybe because the black vote wasn't happening. The black people were probably told their vote doesn't matter because it's a system of white supremacist capitalist patriarchy, so they probably all sat it out, and then someone went and made a law that's something that a lot of black people do, like, I don't know, maybe being a drug dealer is going to be illegal, and then people went and they still did it, and then they got caught, and then they got mass incarcerated. It's not very complicated. It's very logical. It's just one after another, cause and effect. So, do you have a problem with personal responsibility? Because that's what it's starting to seem like.
Why are all of y'all afraid of black people? I don't want your purse. I just want the same pay rate.
Mind reader much? Again, with this presumption that all white people hate all black people for no reason besides what color they are. They're so petty. This most pettiest superficial thing, and you can obviously tell if you really believe that all white people view the world in that sort of manner, you must think they're inferior. It goes back to, of course they'll try to rationalize as systemic patriarchal capitalist, whatever. But if you really have these beliefs, you're obviously thinking you are superior because you don't look at all people like that, except white people.
What are you going to do about systematic racism? You.
I'm going to continue to try to educate people in the realities of it. Like, the majority of it is a figment of your imagination. Like, it's like a ghost. It's in the ether. It's just haunting you from the past.
Why must you own all the media outlets?
Yeah, I own all of the media outlets. Not really. I own a YouTube channel, and even at that, I don't own it. Technically, YouTube owns it, and they're ran by Google, who allows me to have a channel. They could suspend my channel. all media outlets are actually owned by 8 corporations. It's shaped like this. You should be familiar. You know, you see Jay-Z and Beyonce do this a lot. It's kind of shaped like one of these. Oh, can I get it? Yeah, there we go. Like this. See, there's all these companies at the bottom, and then their owners, it goes whoop, right up into the eyeball, right there. See that? That's how it's shaped. But the thing is we live in the day and age where you have alternative media, and you have things like Revolt, which is owned by Puff Daddy. He's a black guy, so all media outlets are not owned by white people. Again, you're an idiot.
I mean, could we at least have BET back?
BET back. Oh my god.
Why does every race qualify for reparations except black people?
Because black people settled for civil rights and other things instead. Black people realized you can't just throw money at a problem and expect it to fix itself. I know you think it can, and you think that you should just get a check every month because you're angry, but it's not going to solve your problem, Sonny. I'm sorry.
A long time ago, really not that long ago, you guys prevented black people from learning how to read and write. But why did you let them keep the Bible?
White people.
Again, there's a bad correlation right here, and a lot of people don't realize that it was the Christians and the Catholics that were the ones that were the abolitionists, and they were the ones that were against slavery, and Christianity is what united black and white people. And they hate this. They hate it so much. I see this all the time where black people, these radicalized black people will be like, the Bible is a tool of oppression and it's holding our people down and this, and that. And no, the Christian and Catholic blacks I know are the happiest, most optimistic, uplifted people you could ever meet. I get so aggravated by this because I do understand the politics that go into religion and everything like that. I'm aware of it. The Bible has been edited by tyrants and everything like that. But the people who find strength in the words of that book, and I mean you could find strength in the words of any book. It could be Huckleberry Finn. It could be Harry fucking Potter. You could find a good message in there that could uplift you. The Bible just happens to have a whole ton of them. And it basically boils down to being a manual as to how to live a happy and fulfilling life. And the people who read it and find that strength in it, again, are the most optimistic, uplifted, happy people. I don't know where these people that are oppressed and held down by their belief in a higher power and that there is more to life than our mortality. I don't know where they are. I can't find them. I don't see them anywhere. And maybe I'm just in a small little bubble, but I'd like to know. I'd like to see them. I am told there's all these Bible thumpers somewhere who are just damning everyone to hell. And if you look into it, places like Westboro Baptist Church is all of 70 people. Like, it's nothing big. So, and read and write? I don't know. You tell me. Why don't we let Hispanics learn English? Every other country learns English and pushes English because it's the dominant language of the world and it will help you gain mobility economically into the world. So why don't we let the Hispanics read or write? What are you going to do to stop the systematic oppression of Hispanics and immigrants?
Historically, you've never liked black people.
Okay, yeah. Let me see real quick. I had a nifty little graphic. I don't know, maybe I don't have it handy. It was basically, oh jeez, where is it? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Over 620,000 white people died to free black slaves, and not even one thank you. I don't know, you tell me, why did those people give their lives to help black people? Because historically, they've never liked them. All of them, all hated every black person, all the time, absolutely, always. Right?
Why have you always accepted black people's money?
What?
Yeah, let's segregate, right? That would be a solution to that. If you believe all these people hate black people, but they just want their money, we should segregate everyone, right? That'd be the solution.
What does colonization mean to you?
I don't know. I don't really see much colonizing going on in the fucking 21st century.
You do know crack and cocaine are both drugs, right?
No, I didn't know that. Oh my god, what a revelation.
Can you find out why Bill Clinton thinks one should carry a harsher sentence than the other?
Yeah, because one has been purified and solidified. I mean, you look at a crack addict and look at a coke addict, and you can tell there's a difference there between the two. There's a lot more casual coke users than crack users. I mean, oh my god. And it's what's your solution? We should just no crimes for either. Both should be fine. Are you hitting the pipe, honey?
Now this one is for Flint. When are you gonna arrest Governor Snyder?
So when we talk about slavery,
When are you going to want the government to stop providing everything for you if they fuck everything up? Just a question. I mean, why, when someone has a proven track record of failure and they're the ones with the actual track record of being oppressive forces in the world, why would you continually want their help? Just out of curiosity, because again, it was government that instituted slavery and civil, Jim Crow, segregation. That was government. That wasn't white people. Government very rarely acts in the interests of the majority, but whatever.
why are you uncomfortable? It's part of American history.
Oh, because you're trying to blame people who weren't alive then for something they had no part of, and trying to place collective guilt on them because of their skin color only. I mean, I don't know, if I looked at you and I said, hey, 80% of the crime in this country comes from black people, even though you're only 10% of the population, you're all criminals, right? I mean, that would be ridiculous and insane and racist of me to think. But for you to think that I am some oppressive force in the world simply because of my skin color, well, that's nothing. That's just a fact of life.
I want to adopt the fun part of black culture, but not the true lifestyle of black Americans.
I don't want either. I'm perfectly fine being myself, actually. I don't know, what are you talking about? Am I not allowed to listen to rap music? Is that what it is? Should we segregate? No white people can buy black products? Is that what you are inferring to? Why do you seem to want to take on the fun parts of white culture, but not acknowledge any of the struggles of white people? Can you answer me that? Lots of white people had it hard at certain points in time. The Irish were treated worse than blacks at some points during slavery. So, why do you want all the fun parts, darling, but you don't want the struggle? Why do you want to go to our colleges and our schools, but you don't want the struggle? Well, I'm sure you don't want to be collectively blamed for anything that anyone who slightly ever looked like you did, do you? Because you could have the struggle. We could struggle together. I could blame you for everything any black person ever did, and you could blame me for everything any white person has ever done throughout history, and we can just struggle together, fighting off our collective guilt. How about that?
I gotta know, why do you wear shorts in the wintertime?
I don't. I actually tend not to wear shorts even in the summertime. Why would you think that all white people do that? Sponsored by the Black Business School, a place to obviously not go to. But the shame is that I think I saw this on like Dr. Umar Johnson's Facebook or something like that. So I mean, this is coming from one of these well-known black leaders, and it's just disgusting. Disgusting, vile racism that should be stopped immediately.